Lake Winnipesaukee. This is February 2nd, 1997. In this video, we'll be having a little ice fishing. We'll show you some salmon fishing later on as the fishing progresses through the lakes region. My name is Gary Cutter, and I'm the one that'll be narrating most of this video, and I hope you enjoy it.
I just had it down.
I'd like to accommodate you, but things ain't looking too good.
A long ways from the St. Valentine Day Massacre, whatever it was.
Jesus Christ, you sound like I did yesterday. You can't talk either.
The guys are having a good time, but it's been real slow here this morning.
Can't get any slower, Gary.
No. Yeah, the fellas are talking about they brought some deer steak. Lauren LeClaire, he's come down from Maine and brought about 12 pounds of deer steak. So Don Miller was telling me, and I think we're going to need them because we're certainly not catching any fish.
I should have brought all of them.
Gary, we're not catching any fish, but we're going to eat, I guess, huh?
Things should be pretty good.
Oh, they look great.
Little home fries and deer steak. Lauren's deer steak from New York.
I thought he shot it up in Pittsburgh, New Hampshire.
Well, I shot mine in Pittsburgh, but Lauren shot this one in New York.
Oh, that's the one we had the other day.
Yeah. We have a... Next year we're going to have a little Montana deer steak, too.
Well, I hope you're doing the cooking. Whereabouts did you shoot this deer, Lauren, in New York?
This is the western part of New York,
Yeah.
down near the Pennsylvania border.
How big was it?
This deer here was 135, and got another one was 140, and the other one was 155.
Holy smoke, you got 3 of them?
That's right.
You allowed 3 out there?
Yep.
Huh.
Well, what it is, apply for permits,
Yeah.
and got 2 permits, and you can shoot 1 buck. You got 1 spike on, and the other 2 are does.
Well, let's get back to ice fishing. You do a lot fishing, hunting up in Pittsburgh, New Hampshire. What do you think we got the fishing today? Isn't it great, huh?
Oh, that's not great day.
A little slow.
A little slow, but it's always good.
Oh,
Good
yeah.
company.
Always have a good time being with Don Miller and Steve Perry and the guys.
Absolutely.
Glad to have you with us, Lauren.
Oh, I'm glad to be here.
Say, Don.
Well, the steak tastes pretty good.
Yeah. How's the fishing been up in the lakes region so far?
Well, fellows over there, 100 feet away from us, they got 8 trout 2 days ago.
Well, you can't knock that.
And it's typical for this lake on a day like this when you have a bright blue sky. Things are slow. I've seen it so many times. But it's good company anyways.
Oh, we have a great time.
It's great to get out and be alive out here with your friends and eat somebody else's deer that
And somebody else do the
somebody
cooking.
else shot.
Steve here, we're just a week away from the Derby. What do you expect to see on the big board down there?
Well, you would hope you're going to see some nice rainbows. I know we've gotten some reports of a few areas around the lake where they're doing pretty well on rainbows this year. We're over here for lake trout today, unfortunately, and just not having any luck. I don't know, it just seems that seemed to have lost a touch. I've been out 3 times now. Had one little touch on Winnisquam. Guess it was Friday afternoon, missed that, and then Lauren brought it up through the hole, about a 12-inch lake trout. So I've been out 3 times, and that's been it so far. So, but it's just nice being out.
Oh, it sure is. But there have been several good reports of nice catches of rainbows.
Oh yeah, in the 3 areas around the lake, you got over by Saunders Bay, and then down by Elacoya, and then down by Wolfboro. Dawn took a call from a guy down the Wolfboro way, where the smelt were in the shallow waters in pretty good numbers. And so the guy would be watching his holes, looking at the smelt, and as soon as they disappeared,
You got enough milk?
he'd get a rainbow, and they were running 3.5, 4 pounds. It was just up the shoreline from where we have the net set in the fall for salmon in Mink Brook.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, down in that cove there, just on the opposite shoreline, just up the bay a little bit. So they're those rainbows are probably gathering, getting ready to spawn. sometime late winter, early spring. So they're milling around that bay there, and the smelt seem to be in there in pretty good shape. So he's had pretty good luck in there, fishing 2-3 feet of water.
Okay, Steve. Well, we'll see you at the big board.
Oh yeah, there'll be plenty of fish on it, I'm sure.
We haven't had much luck.
No, we picked a beautiful day, but we didn't pick the best day for fishing. We picked a nice day,
Oh, we sure have.
but the fishing isn't too good.
Have you fished much this winter so far, Steve?
No, not much, Gary. Been to Sunapee once, and I went fishing for pickerel and perch with my daughter.
Yeah.
And that's all I've been this year. So I haven't done much. The 2 times I've been out for lake trout have been identical. Nothing as usual.
Now that's slow fish.
Yeah, sure is.
Now we're talking here with Steve Kobacki of Hillsborough, New Hampshire, and Steve's quite a fisherman, and I brought him up here and to fish with a few guys some fishing game, and so far things have been pretty slow, and I think it's going to stay that way, don't you?
Yeah, well, you never know. That's jigging one. There might be some lake trout come in the area. We might snag one or two
Well,
before the day's out.
I know the deer steak's going to taste good.
Yeah, that's right. And I'm gonna pull one up here pretty soon before we have it.
Well, I'll have the camera ready. February 8th, 1997, and this is Derby weekend. This is Meredith, New Hampshire's Rotary Club annual fishing derby, which draws thousands of people all across New England and many states beyond that. What you're looking at right now is the Derby headquarters big board, and we'll get real close, and they've got a few nice lake trout in there. They got some beautiful rainbows, some nice white perch, a few cusk, and it's a lot of people mingle around that board. It's pretty impressive. And we'll try and talk with Don Miller, which is a fisheries biologist here in the Lakes region, and look these fish are at the big board with Don Miller, fisheries biologist out of Region 2. Don, things are looking pretty good so far.
Yeah, beautiful weather, Gary. Some great trout here on the board. Looking at these lake trout, this one in particular, 24.5 inches long, almost 5.5 pounds. Look at the girth on that trout.
Fantastic.
Not a beautiful laker.
Sure is.
This one here is 8.3 pounds. 7.3 pounds. These are all Winnipesaukee lake trout. 4.5, 4.4. Those are all beautiful lake trout.
Great.
What we're seeing again this year too is some real nice white perch. 2.5 pounds. They're averaging a little bit less than 2.5 pounds, but those are just about as big as white perch get.
Where are they coming from, Don? You know?
Winnipesaukee, I would say probably up around Center Harbor, 1 Mile Island.
That area.
Yeah. A few good cusk here too.
Oh, yeah. I had a fella here, what, a couple of years ago. Last year, I think, took a big cusk.
Yeah, 9 pounds or so.
Yeah.
This one here is 5.8. But that's a decent fish.
Sure is.
Poor man's lobster right there.
Sounds good to me, Don. Look at these pickerel, Don.
4.3, 4, 3.9. They're all right around 4 pounds. Pretty good pickerel.
What's the length of the pickerel? Do you really know, Don?
26 inches on that one there.
Boy, that's a nice one.
And one of these came out of Wentworth Lake. I'm not sure which one. I think it's this one here.
That's quite a bass lake, too, isn't
It's a
it?
fantastic bass lake, yeah. And rainbows, we've got some beautiful rainbows. All these down here are off the board now. They've been kicked off. And right now, the smallest one on the board is 2.32 pounds.
Boy. Okay, how large are these, Don?
This one here is 19.5 inches, Gary, 3.3 pounds. Winnipesaukee. This is, let's see, a Winnisquam fish, I believe. No? Oh, this is a Winnisquam rainbow here. It's caught over by Bartlett Beach where the river comes in.
Oh, yeah.
Is that the one that weighs 2.69?
That's 3.69.
3.69.
Yeah. But these are all nice rainbows. They're all right around the 3.5 pound class.
Well, the department must be very pleased the way the rainbow trout program is working.
It's great, Gary. This one here is 5.17.
Boy,
I believe that one came out of Weirs Beach.
Is that
area
right?
down there, yeah. But those are all beautiful rainbows.
and you have your daughter here with you today.
Yeah, it's my sidekick here, Holly.
How you like weighing in these fish?
It's really fun. It gives you something to do.
I hope you're subtracting that tray. I'm sure
It's-
Dad's making sure you do.
Yeah, I'm working outside.
Yeah.
I don't do the inside stuff.
Oh. This is the second day of the tournament. As you could see here just a moment or two ago, they had some nice fish the first day. This is sunrise at Long Island on the east side of Lake Winnipesaukee. We're in the second day of the tournament. We didn't have much luck yesterday, did we?
No, we didn't, Gary. We tried again today. I
Yeah,
got one hit yesterday.
Hey.
Hopefully.
Have you had any hits yet this morning, Dad?
No, nothing yet this morning, Gary.
What a beautiful sunrise, huh?
Oh, that's beautiful. That's what it's all about.
I know one thing, it was pretty chilly this morning.
Yes, it was. Still a bit nippy.
Yeah. Well, good luck, Dick. Maybe we'll get a picture of you yanking one up through the hole. Beautiful day, Don, huh?
Not too bad, Gary. It's I'd say probably 10 degrees here now. The wind's picked up a little bit. It was about 10 below zero here this morning in the Lakes region. But it didn't prevent all these people out here from going fishing.
Oh, it's quite a group of them over there. I don't know what they're catching, but when I talked with you here yesterday down to the board, things were looking real good.
Oh yeah, fantastic. You name it, pickerel coming in real fast, a lot of rainbow trout, some real nice white perch, 2 to 3 pounds, yellow perch, cusk. We had some 8-pound lake trout, 2 8-pound lake trout that I know of. It was just a great day. Fish were really biting well.
How well are they biting right here, Don?
Well, you'll notice there's no blood around this hole.
No.
Maybe a little relish from my hot dog, but it's been a little slow here this morning, Gary.
A friend of yours there brought up some shrimp.
Yeah, Alan Layton brought some shrimp up for us. We're gonna go back, move the house on Winnisquam, block it up a little bit, and hopefully catch a trout there. And then if we don't catch a trout, we have the shrimp as a backup.
That sounds pretty good. Well, Don, I'm going to leave here and check in with Steve down at the board and see what they're doing there today. The last day of the Derby. It's about 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and there's still a lot of activity out here in the bay. Cast all these on that you're looking at now are caught Sunday. Nice looking freshwater fish.
It's still the first same.
This is March 8th, and we're back here at Lake Winnipesaukee. I tried to catch up with Steve Perry at the big board, but my battery went on me, and I wasn't able to talk to Steve, but he's with us in this party, and we'll have a chance to get a little update on that Derby. But with us this morning there is Scott Decker, and over here we should run into Don Miller. Steve Perry there jigging.
Waiting for the big one, Gary.
Hope you get it, Steve.
Yeah.
Patty is Lauren LeClaire. Well, Scotty Decker has just hauled one in, and we'll go and talk with Scott for a minute and let him tell us all about it. That's a nice looking one, Scott.
Just came up.
Yeah.
Came up. First
Wow.
one of the day.
I missed it.
Yeah,
I
not
missed
bad.
it.
We've been skunked all morning. Decided to move over here to the secret spot on Lake Winnie.
And that's been in the net, Steve was saying. It's caught once this fall. It's got a caudal clip on it, you call it?
It looks like it. See how the tail is been cut down here compared to the bottom?
Mm-hmm.
The upper caudal was clipped.
How long do you think that fish is, Scott?
About 21 and a half, 22 inches.
22.
He must be what, 2.5, 3 pounds?
I would say he's not quite 3.
Just about 3.
Yeah.
Well, we have you right here a second. Scott is a biologist up in Region 1. How you doing up there in the Pittsburgh, Lancaster area?
Not too bad. I mean, it's been a long winter. It's been a hard winter up north. They get some big fish, 8-pounder out of Lake Francis, and I think a 10-plus pounder came out of Big Diamond this year.
Well, that's a nice fish.
So yeah, you get some nice ones every once in a while. Yeah.
Well, I know it's been slow here at Winnie, but maybe you've going to start us off here in the right direction today.
Well, good chance of it.
Lauren just yanked this out of the hole. I wasn't over here quick enough with the camera. What do you think that weighs, Lauren?
It feels like it might go about 3 pounds. Maybe.
Yeah, it's a nice one. Yeah. That's the first cuss we've caught today.
Yep.
That's only the second fish.
Yeah.
Of course, Don lost that big one.
Yeah, that big one got away.
A new state record
Well,
on it.
Broke the line.
Yeah.
That's quite a story in itself.
Well, try again, Lauren.
Yeah, we'll give it another shot.
So if only Donnie had remembered the big fry pan, everything would have been perfect.
Yeah.
Scott Decker is now
Woke up this morning.
cooking up some deer steak for us. It's just one beautiful, beautiful day out here. It was very cold this morning, and boy, I don't know, it seems like it must be 40 right now.
There's no way in hell I'm going to get there by 5:30.
He's standing there and he's saying, "Oh, I gotta meet Steve. I gotta meet Steve." I said, "How come so early?"
Put these hot onions in a plastic bowl, it'll fucking melt.
Huh?
It'll melt. It's hot butter in here.
We got any tin foil?
No, I'll put them on the paper plate here. Watch this.
Are you saying something
No.
about water? You're not bringing the right stuff
No
out or
foil. No, it's my responsibility.
Oh,
I-
okay.
As the cook.
Oh, okay.
You're always being elected the cook, Scott.
I should have made sure there was
God
a
is
pan.
the cook.
Steve and I tried to pick you up down the big board during the Derby. You were in having a hot dog, and meantime my battery went dead. What did you see down there? To me, it looked like they had some pretty decent fish on that board Sunday.
They had a lot of good rainbows. The day started off kind of slow, but like most derbies, the second day, most people probably knew what they had to beat so that they weren't coming in real quick. But we ended up having all the prize categories, whether it be rainbows, tag rainbows, lake trout, white perch, yellow perch, pickerel, all filled by the end of the day. And we had a tag rainbow trout that came in, I believe it was around 2.44 pounds. It ended up winning it all. And it was a pretty decent looking fish. It would have been one that they stocked during the fall of 1995, I guess it was, that won it all. But above and beyond that, most of the rainbows looked in pretty good shape, and they were bringing in a lot of rainbows.
I thought the lake trout looked real good too, Steve.
Yeah, we had good lake trout. I think most of them came from Winnipesaukee. We had a few from Winnisquam. I did see a few from, at least one or two from Big Squam that looked in pretty poor shape. Those are about the only lake trout that looked kind of thin for their length. But the rest of them look good.
And no problems this year.
No, not that we ever heard of. They certainly, one of the judges there had one of their metal detectors that he was waving over every fish. I got a kick out of that. But as far as I know, they didn't have any problems.
Well, that's good. At least we go a few years maybe without everything's going smooth for the Derby.
Yeah, that's right.
And we've caught a couple fish today.
Yeah, I'm still waiting for my first, but I know it's just a matter of time. Whether it's this year, next year, 10 years from now, I'll have another one on the ice at some point in time.
I know just how you... Scott, that looks good. Real good.
It should be pretty tender. Good venison.
Yeah.
That's from a yearling deer that I shot up in Bethlehem.
Well, you shot that in Bethlehem this year?
Yeah.
Oh, this year's deer.
Yeah. Believe it or not, it's the very first deer I ever shot.
Is that right?
Yeah. 36 years old, yeah.
Well, you... I'm Gary Cutter, and I call myself the Video Fisherman. Well, this past winter in the Lakes region, fishing for lake trout, I'd have to admit it's been pretty slow. Although Steve Perry and Don Miller and a few of their friends did real well at the tail end of the season around Bear Island. Well, today it's April 19th, and that means we're just a few days away from ice out. and that means fishing for landlocked salmon. And that's what I'm doing this morning. I'm going through my tackle box and see what I need to fish for landlocks and lake trout this year. As far as I'm concerned, I don't think the landlocked salmon fishing is going to be quite as good as it was last year. The last 2 years, as a matter of fact, have been real good fishing. The reason I say this is because talking with Steve Perry and Don Miller and being with them a couple of times where they were doing their fall netting, the 3 and the 4-year-olds don't appear to be showing up in the nets. But the 2-year-olds, oh, they look in fantastic shape. So we know that the smelt base is there, especially in Lake Winnipesaukee. But with the fishing being as good as it has been the last couple of years, of course, that increases the fishing pressure, and there's just not as many of these 3 and 4-year-olds that live long enough to reach that age class. Well, I hope you continue to enjoy the video, and I hope we can show you some decent landlocks and a few lake trout. The season. It's just a few days after ice out. We're fishing here with Steve Perry and Don Miller. This isn't the first fish of the season, it's a plastic bag.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, just we won't say nothing. We'll just slice it.
I can say is this lake just keeps getting better every year.
Yeah. Well, we offer the fishermen a variety of fish out here.
Big Don.
Oh, I don't know, boy. This bag's fighting pretty good. Oh, there he goes.
Oh, you lost him?
Yeah.
God, he seemed like a good one, though.
That was nice.
About 20, 22, 23.
Get
Bump
fish.
'em up.
Yeah, you get fish about 10 feet below your downrigger.
Things are kind of slow here, Don.
Yeah, well, we're homing him in on him, Gary. We almost got the downrigger down there where the fish are now.
Well, I hope so. It's a nice day out here, Steve.
No, you couldn't ask for a better day, Gary, except for one that was producing a few more fish. But hey, anytime on the water is better than not being here.
That's right. We've seen we've seen quite a few fish caught.
Yeah, it seems people fishing with live bait, whether drifting or sitting in one spot, seem to be picking them up pretty well. So either they're right in on the smelt, unless you're right there with a smelt on the other end of your hook. Might be what it takes at this point in time till the water warms up a little bit and they start getting more active.
What do you think, huh?
Well, it's a little slow.
Yeah, a little slower than what?
We'll still got time.
Yeah. See, this is what you haven't been here fishing now for about 15 years.
You're right.
Probably no
Long
different
spell.
now than it was.
Now, we had pretty good luck here the last time you fished with me.
Yes, we did.
Yeah, real good
Real
luck.
good. There's a lot of fish showing.
I know.
They're down deep, though.
You've also graphed quite a few smelt.
Yeah, early on this morning we did. Right now we're looking at 50 feet of water, a lot of fish down about 35 feet.
Don, the ice has just been out a couple of days, and a lot of people think that the ice sinks. Can you tell us exactly what happens?
Well, what happens with ice is, as it melts, it breaks into fingers of ice like this. They call it honeycomb ice. And the basic property of ice is that it's less dense than water. If it was more dense, it would sink. Being less dense, what it does is just pop up and float. And that's a peculiar thing about water. When it freezes, instead of getting heavier than the water, it gets lighter. And that's why ice stays on top and it doesn't go down.
But a lot of people still think it sinks.
Never seen it sink yet.
No.
Unless you drove a boat on it, and then it would sink a few feet.
Third, Lake Winnipesaukee. We're fishing in Alton Bay with Lauren LeClaire and fisheries biologist Don Miller, which just been promoted to cold water lakes in the state. And we've had several hits, and this one seems to be hanging on for Lauren.
Whoa!
He come off.
No, he's still there. He's still there.
Jumped right over your line.
Yeah.
He's not too big, I don't
No,
think.
that's a fish we stocked last spring, Gary. He's about 14 inches long.
That probably is that main strain then, huh?
No, we're gonna put those in here this year.
Oh. Well, Lauren.
Yeah, pretty fish.
Hey, that's the first one caught on my whipper, too.
There you go.
Lauren, you're a maniac. Here we are at the Derby headquarters of the Winnie Derby here at Weirs Beach. At Lake Winnipesaukee.
21 and 5
And
inches.
they're weighing in a few salmon, and we'll have a chance to look at a few of them. That's a nice looking landlock. Being checked out by Don Miller, Large Lake Fisheries Biologist from the Hampshire Fish and Game Department.
Told you. 3.545. I told you. Gentlemen, 3.5. You were right on, man.
545.
Put it that way, Don.
3.5 pounds, Gary.
Yeah.
It's just about what we're seeing for an average fish. It's a bit larger than the average fish. The average is running about 3.2.
Is that about a 2-year-old, huh?
That's an LV clip fish. That's a 4-year-old salmon.
Well, that's a nice fish.
Yep.
How can you determine that?
That ventral fin is clipped.
A little teeny.
See it?
Yeah. He was cranking his ass.
I bet he was.
Oh, that was fun.
We got some.
Your first name's Ernie.
Ernie.
Where you from, Ernie?
Rochester.
Yeah. And that was a nice looking salmon.
I had caught him on a little ultralight.
Is that right?
Test line, yeah.
What were you using for a lure or fly?
I was using a smell.
Smell, yeah.
Yeah, and it was fun.
2.2.
What area of the lake did you catch him in?
Belknap Point.
Yeah. Yep,
You know
I
where
fished
that
out
is.
there. Yes, I do. Nice area to be on the lake.
Oh,
Is that right?
a lot of fun. We had a good time.
Well, good luck. I'll chat here a few minutes with Rick Davis. He's the executive chairman here of the Winnie Derby. Rick, how many years has this been going on?
Well, this is my 17th year, Gary. It's the 16th annual Derby, but I've been involved in 17 years.
Yeah.
It took a year to form it, so 17 years.
Now, this is pretty much your original idea, isn't it?
Pretty much so, yes. Yeah. Picked it up actually the first year that they had the ice derby up in Meredith, and I said, boy, we ought to have a spring derby. And one of the guys that was standing there worked for the Fish and Game Department, and he says that's the last thing we need is another derby. So going down, you may recall the old sportsman show at Boxborough, Mass, and I was down there, and along comes this outdoor writer, and he says, I understand you're going to put on a derby up in Lake Winnipesaukee. So that's how it all got started, basically. But the real reason behind it was we had trouble out here with the fish, quality of the fish that was way overstocked. You know, they had 5-6-year-old salmon out here that were only 14-15 inches long, and they were just, you know, no forage for them. So had a serious situation developing.
Remember what year that was, Rick?
Well, let's see, 16 been 1980.
1980, because I know at that time there was a lot of talk. They wanted to introduce ice fishing through the ice landlocks, which is I would be dead against.
Yeah. Well, I would be too, but the thing of it is, see, they had such a large stock, and the forage base had gone down, so it was just mismanagement as far as I'm concerned. And rather than to see that happen, rather than see them drop the length limit for open water fishing and then open it to ice fishing as well, I figured I'd throw my 2 cents in and get a derby started and see if we couldn't get rid of a few of those fish.
It's sure been a smashing success all through New England.
Well, it has been. You know, the first year we had the derby, a 19.5-inch salmon was the biggest fish ended as far as salmon was concerned. Now we have anywhere, it varies from year to year, but generally speaking we have a 20-inch minimum before the fish can even be weighed into the derby.
I know in the last 2 years it looks like the quality of the salmon out here has improved.
It's improved drastically. We're looking at, you know, the high of a 40-year average of record keeping. You know, we got better fish out here now than they've had over the last 40 years.
Plus the pressure has increased tremendously.
Well, it has, but it's also, you know, you're somewhat aware of the fact that a bunch of us from the Derby and other volunteer groups worked hard to get the forage base built up out here. So in the Derby again, donated a lot of money to the Fish and Game Department, and they bought a research boat which you're familiar with. So now they monitor the forage base in the fall, and they stock in the spring according to the forage base. So they've got a real good formula worked out, and consequently you're seeing the quality of fish that are out here now.
Well, we sure are. Rick, you probably don't remember, but can you give me a rough figure on how many participants we had in the very first Derby and what you have today?
Well, we had just about 600 in the first one.
Yeah.
And I mean, that included everybody. We had the reception or the awards at a local hotel, and I said, or motel, and I said that included everybody: chambermaids, cooks, dishwashers, you know, to get it up to that 600 figure. But unofficially, and this is Saturday, and it's going to be within just a few fishermen, but it looks like 33.94 for the year.
Boy, that's great, Rick.
Yeah.
Perhaps you and I can get out fishing once again before we leave this earth, huh?
Well, that'd be fun. It seems to me we used to do that occasionally catch a fish.
I know.
By accident, probably more than on purpose.
I know, we know always talk about it. We will get together, Rick.
Sounds good, Gary. I'm looking forward to it.
This is a nice landlocked brought in by a young fella.
Lively. They're pretty, huh? Look at the blue and green on the gill
Oh,
plate.
it's a nice looking fish, Don.
Jason, how old are you?
10.
Long time
This
today.
is a young fella that caught this landlocked.
They take turns.
It's a nice one.
Lake trout's don't
What's
do
your
that much
name?
good, right?
Jason.
And,
Jason, where you from, Jason?
By the time I got the pole away from him,
Whereabouts?
he lost it.
Alstead, New Hampshire.
Oh, yes. I work with a girl that comes from Alstead, named Hakey. They're loggers up there. Yeah?
75.6.
Oh. Did you get one yesterday, too?
Yeah.
How big was that?
Like 21 inches long.
What'd you catch it on?
Moose lock.
A moose lock wobbler. Well, look good. What color was it?
It was white with the red dots.
Yeah. Well, keep right on.
0.375.
He was the one that's on the.
I gotta have your derby ticket. I need yours for you.
That's what I had on my scale.
What's your last name?
Red Bedford.
Where is it, Stanley?
How old was that, Don?
That's a 4-year-old fish, Gary. It's got a LV clip left ventral.
Baggers Bay and that.
We're seeing a lot of these 4-year-old fish.
That's nice.
Nice fat fish, yeah.
Yeah.
Real pretty salmon.
Get that water.
Sullivan, New Hampshire.
Oh, that's. I live in Hillsboro. That's not too far away.
No.
What'd you catch this fish on?
Moose look wobbler.
Yeah. What's it? Oh, that's a nice landlock.
Way out, John. Way out. Way out front. There. There you go. Further up.
What'd you catch it on?
China.
Super duper.
Super duper. That
duper
sounds
China.
good. Yeah. Whereabouts in the lake did you catch it?
That's a lie, super duper.
Yeah.
Bronze.
Bronze, yeah.
Oh,
But I did get him on
that is good lure.
Wait, is that up in Gilpin?
Yeah.
From the salmon derby to a beaver dam. In the lakes region, as well as throughout the whole state of New Hampshire, there are numerous beaver dams. And they're excellent places to take and teach a kid to learn to fish. This morning, I have my grandchildren with me. Chelsea Cutter, in fact, I think Chelsea has a fish on right now. Chelsea Cutter, Tucky Cutter, and Terry Cutter. Terry Cutter is my son. And they're fishing for hornpout. This is very appropriate. It's Father's Day. What a nice day to spend Father's Day. Now these hornpout, they're small. In this particular beaver dam, a fellow has got a little wharf on it, and it makes it kind of handy for the kids to go out and fish. Fish have you caught this morning?
3.
3?
I got 2.
Tucker. Turn around here and talk to Grant a minute. How many fish have you really got this morning?
9.
2?
But I didn't see them.
You didn't see them. They just bit, but you didn't hook them, huh? No bites, Doc?
Oh, what was that? Hold on, careful. We played with the other day. Don't yank it out of the mouth. Let him take it.
Oh, the bobber's moving. Okay, Tuck, give it to him. You missed him.
Whoa. That was cool right there. I'm going to put it out right here. Oh, my bobber's not in the water.
Well, Doc, what's happening, buddy? What's happening? What's happening? Reel it in.
What are those water bugs doing on the water?
Get things a little tangled up, did he, Terry?
Yeah, a little bit. A little bit.
By golly, Tracy, Chelsea has one now. Oh, you got a little sunfish.
Yeah, Chelsea, take it off.
How much fish did... No.
Get up.
Oh!
Yeah, it is a good one. Ducky.
Hey, Duck.
A little bass, looks like.
Whoa!
A bass.
Is it a bass?
Yeah.
Look!
Look at that.
Oh my God!
What do you...
Oh, Chelsea, you better look at this fish.
Look at that right there. Look at that. A little bass. Could be about, I don't know, 12, 13 inches.
Hey, is this fun, Tuck?
Wow!
What do you think, Ducky? How was that, huh? Did you like that?
Yeah.
Look at that, huh? That's a nice little bass, huh?
Look at mine.
Boy, that's a nice looking fish, Tuck.
Yeah, and Chelsea got a nice little sunfish here. Yeah, see that?
Where
This
is
is
it?
the biggest fish we caught.
Oh, yeah. Sunfish and a bass. Well, good enough, kids.
Yep, put the bass back.
The 8th of September, of course, 1997. And this is Sunapee Lake. And this morning I'm fishing with Zeke Bazile. It's kind of a ritual here. A couple of the last weekends of the season that Zeke and I get together. And this morning so far I have caught 2 lake trout. They're not big, but they're big enough to keep, and I'll show them a little later on here. And maybe we'll catch one and get Zeke on the video. If we don't, we'll interview Zeke and let us know how he's done here at Sunapee.
Not a bad fish.
That pole
Coming a little slow, but
well, that pole has acted funny, hasn't it?
yeah, it has. I thought it might have been the wind or something on my motor, but evidently it's been on there for a little bit. It's coming slow. Not that big, but it's a lake trout.
Probably same size of 2 that I've got, huh?
Just about.
Fish there. Looks like a lake trout. Not bad, Zeke.
No, it's a pretty decent fish. Pretty decent. He's a keeper. He's on the stringer.
Oh, Zeke, that looks pretty good, buddy.
He's a good fish.
Looks, it's a keeper, all right.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
This is the 3rd one this morning.
3rd one this morning. Yeah, we're in good shape.
Zeke, that's not bad.
No, that ain't too bad, but I've seen a lot better.
Oh,
a little
yeah.
thin.
Well, let's measure him up, buddy.
Okay, Will.
Zeke, what did you catch that lake trout on?
Got him on a speedy shiner, which is a very good lure. I've had very good luck with one, and that's no exception. Was 18, but
Well, I know that you've got enough of them this year, and I know you're getting like Steve Perry. You kind of like to have them grow a little bit more.
well, got to leave some for my grandchildren.
Yeah, that's right. And the reason I'm taking mine, Zeke, is my mother likes them.
Well, that's true.
Zeke, I want to thank you, old buddy. I've limited out here what I got both of these in about an hour. And all told today, he's still alive. They're not big lake trout, but they're all legal. One is 19 inches, and the other one is just a hair over 18. I caught him on a little small minnow plug with 300 feet of wire line down. And all told today, Zeke, you and I, we boated, 4 salmon? 4 lake trout.
4 lake trout,
Yeah. Well, Zeke, you know something? I wouldn't mind trying this again with you. You're not a bad guide at all, pal. Here with Steve Perry. Steve has one on. He's already had 2 this morning, and I've caught 2. How does this one feel, Steve?
I think this is going to be about what they've been running on average, Gary. Somewhere around 17, 18, 19 inches. I think he might be getting ready to... This one hasn't jumped quite as much. We had a bunch that were jumping 2-3 feet out of the water first thing.
Yeah, well, I'll swing and maybe I can catch him. That looks nice, Steve.
Yeah, nice 2-year-old salmon. The main strain. They got plenty of feed in here this year, Gary, so their body condition is a lot improved over a year ago.
Boy, I think they put on about 3 inches.
Oh, no doubt, yeah. Yeah, the 2-year-olds last year were running 15, 16, 17 inches. This year, I'd say they're running 17 to 19.
Nice conditions, Steve.
Oh, they certainly are.
Line. Once again on the needlefish, huh, Steve?
What's that, Gary?
Once again on the needlefish?
Yeah, on the needlefish. We're running 2 needlefish on the downriggers. This was down 30 feet, that size 1 needlefish. It's been working pretty well.
I was hoping I might see it jump out there, Steve, but I don't know.
Well, he's dogging it now, Gary. I thought he was going to come up and give us a show, but at this point he's shaking his head and staying deep. The bigger.
Well, that's real nice, Steve. Boy, they're all just as uniform and plump.
Oh, yeah.
Well, Steve, you might just as well release him.
Yep.
Even though that one probably is a keeper.
That's probably a keeper, but we'll let him get bigger.
Well, you might have a laker on it.
That could be. This is a big fish.
Anything I can...
No, I'm going to slow it down a little bit.
Is Squam Lake the 3rd largest lake we have in the States, Steve?
Yeah, it would be the second. Wholly within the state, but Umbagog is good size, and I think if you included Umbagog, this would be the 3rd.
Boy, I hope you get him this one. He's still feeling good?
Oh yeah, not doing much other than just being a weight on the end of the line, Gary.
Boy, he sure smacked that rod. I wish I'd had the camera going. That rod went right down to almost to the water.
Well, you know, I've had usually 1 chance like this a year where I've gotten a fish on where you just barely see the tip of the rod pop off the release, but the bend of the rod stays right down. So if we get this one to the boat, Gary, this will probably be the first time lake trout.
Oh, boy, Steve. You get on that needlefish too. Boy, the needlefish have been working well for you.
We'll lighten up on that drag. Get away from that.
Okay, Steve, I'll grab the net.
No, I can get the net there.
Oh, can you? Okay. Oh, Steve. Terrific. Terrific.
Boy, that's a hell of a lake trout, huh?
Oh, it's a carca. Oh, that's a... Oh. You think that's about 6 pounds then, huh?
Well, it might be a little bit. Somewhere between 5 and 6, Gary. Looked a little bit bigger in the water, but decent fish. Probably goes 24, 25 inches long.
Oh, and once again, Steve, they're in terrific shape.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, this is a female. She's getting ready to spawn. You can see her vent sticking out a little bit. When it starts doing that, I can feel the eggs in her belly. She's getting ready to spawn. So I'm going to put her back, let her go do her thing.
Okay, Steve,
That
go
was
ahead.
a nice fight.
released that nice lake trout, and he has another salmon on the line. It's jumped out there a couple of times for us, but I didn't quite have the camera going. Once again, it's right on that needle fish. Steve, I haven't had a chance yet to congratulate you for being promoted to Chief of Fisheries, but this is a good time to let anyone watching this video realize that you enjoy fishing and get out here and actually see what's going on.
Oh, it's nothing like it, Gary. Really, it's what got me into all of this to begin with, is just the love of fishing. And certainly like to get out in the last few days of the salmon season. It seems to turn out pretty well for us when we spend a few days out here on Squam doing some salmon fishing. And the salmon certainly are looking a lot better this year, and certainly putting up a good fight. And we've had some pretty good luck this morning.
Sure have. Good. Is this one for your mother-in-law or?
No, I think we'll wait for a little bit bigger.
Okay, Steve. You gonna call it a morning, Steve?
Yeah, I think it's probably about time, Gary. It's been about an hour or so since our last fish, and even at that, it was about an hour before we had gotten a bunch. We had a good morning early, for about 2 hours, and then things slowed up a little bit.
You wind up with what, 8 salmon and that nice lake trout?
Yeah, we got 8 salmon and the one lake trout, and about 3 hours of fishing. And in this last hour has been pretty slow, but caught up on a lot of different things, just talking and whatnot.
Oh, had a great time, Steve.
Yeah.
Well, this is the next morning, September 26th. Air temperature, I'd say, is somewhere in the mid to upper 40s. Once again, we're fishing Big Squam Lake. I hope we have as good luck as we did yesterday morning, Steve.
Oh, I think we should. Another beautiful morning, Gary. Got a good cloud cover. Temperature's a little bit warmer.
It is.
I'm sure the fish are still here.
Well, we know we released them all.
Yeah.
But you know, Steve, out of those 8 landlocks, I'm quite sure that we could have legally taken 3 of them.
Yeah, we had probably 3 that were somewhere between 18 and 20 inches. All of them had good body score, so nice fat fish.
Plus the lake trout, there's no doubt we could held that one if we wanted to.
Oh yeah, that was an added bonus.
Well, maybe the line's rigged up yet, and he has one on. It struck.
Took about as long as yesterday, 5 minutes, Gary. He's not overly big, but he's jumping pretty good.
Oh, boy, is he scrappy, Steve.
Oh yeah. Well, these mean salmon seem to like to jump.
Boy, they sure do.
Maybe it's the New Hampshire water.
We'll call it that anyway, huh? Steve's trying to catch him so he get a chance to look at him. It appears that this salmon is a keeper, but Steve and I release most all of our fish unless somebody really wants one to eat.
I guess I got lucky yesterday, Gary, on the first pass.
Boy.
Grabbing him by the tail.
They are scrappy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now you wait a minute. Oh, that's a nice. only small fish that we've caught so far was one of those that I caught yesterday. Appeared to be just stocked this spring.
Yeah. Good. Quite 18.
No, this is a pretty fish, isn't it?
Oh yeah, yeah.
It's a male.
Nice male. Already starting to get into the fall colors. Getting ready to spawn.
Well, what's tugging real good.
Yeah, good.
Tugging harder than the other one did.
Well, that's what we like to hear.
I can't get over, Steve, the comeback and smelting this lake.
Well, they certainly turned around in about 1 year's time, Gary. We're happy about that. We're certainly seeing it in how fat these fish are, even though they're not all that long.
I was probably down about 30 feet. With a small hairy lure copper.
Well, don't you, Gary?
First time I really used a small one was with you. We fished the very tail end of the season one morning and it's going to be fairly decent. But with a boat going, a lot of line out, you know, they feel good in them.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's another. I don't know if you can get him to jump or not. No.
Oh yeah. There we go.
Oh, I'd say he's fat. He may not be 18 inches, but he's close to it.
That's a good fish, Gary.
Well, I'll tell you what. You can shut the can. But I don't think. Maybe you could hold it up a hair. Yeah, that's not quite 18.
No.
But it's something that feels fairly decent, huh, Steve?
Yeah, it's not a bad one, Gary. Hard to say whether it might be another surprise lake trout or whether it's a little bit bigger salmon.
Well, I hope we find out.
Can't move it a whole lot.
Think he may be hooked funny, Steve?
No, he's in the mouth.
Can't tell yet what it is.
I think it's a salmon.
Oh, he hasn't jumped any.
No.
Of course, they don't always jump.
No, he's just swimming right along. I should have taken him on this side. No, he's out of it now. Good.
Oh, he's not tangling in my line anymore.
He's not tangled anymore, Gary. Oh no, yeah, he is.
Okay.
Yeah, he is.
What is just not a real small salmon? It's not as big as we thought.
About what we've been getting. Now he's out of it. No, he's still in it.
Okay, Steve, I know you're going to release. Well, it's quieted down here for a second. It probably doesn't look like it on the video, but just for a little something different, Steve, I've always wondered about the rainbow trout. We must buy our eggs somewhere, or what happens?
Yeah, we get our eggs from a federal facility, hatchery down in West Virginia, and they send us up eggs every year. And yeah, we do pay for those eggs from the feds.
And I was talking with you, I think it was yesterday. You're giving it some consideration of perhaps doing this on our own.
Yeah, the quality of the eggs that we've been getting recently, the rainbow eggs, has been somewhat poor. The survival of the eggs has been well below what we would expect, and so we have some thoughts about trying to put a facility in where we can hold our own brood fish for rainbows so that we can take our own eggs and maybe increase the quality of those eggs so that the guys in the hatchery don't have to spend so much time picking through them and removing the dead eggs and whatnot. And we'd just be in a better position if we were able to take our own eggs.
I know picking out the dead eggs may not seem much, but I know one day I helped you with salmon, and it's all done with a pair of tweezers.
Yeah, it is. They do have an egg picking machine that can be used at times, but only at times. And that egg picking machine essentially tries to pass a light through the egg, and if it can't do it, it considers that to be a dead egg, because dead eggs turn white and the good eggs stay clear. So if it can't send the light through the dead egg, then it throws that out through another slot. So it essentially is something that spins around, and out on one side down a tube come the good eggs, and on the other side are the bad eggs. But when the eggs really can't be handled a lot, before they get to the eyed stage, you have to take a pair of tweezers and pick them out one by one, and that's quite a job.
Sure is. Also, Steve, I think the rainbow program in the state has taken off in these big lakes, don't you?
Well, they have, and we started stocking the big lakes back in 1990, and most of the big lakes were getting them by 1991. And we weren't really sure how well they'd do as far as growth and whatnot. We kind of anticipated they'd do fairly well. And we've seen real good growth on the rainbows in the big lakes. And so we've kind of formalized this large lake rainbow program by turning it into more or less a quality trout fishery. Once our rules that we proposed this year go into effect on January 1st of 1998, there'll be a 15-inch minimum length limit for rainbow trout on these lakes that for most of the lakes that we manage for lake trout and salmon. There are a number of lakes up north in the Pittsburgh area that won't have that 15-inch, but most of the ones in the lakes region here and south, any of them that we manage for lake trout and salmon, will have a 15-inch minimum length for rainbow trout. And we've also reduced the overall daily bag limit. Right now there's a 4-fish aggregate between landlocked salmon, lake trout, and rainbow trout during the open water season. And we're going to reduce that to just a 2 trout salmon limit starting January 1st as well. And pretty much if you come out fishing for salmon, lake trout, or rainbow, you're going to be able to take nice fish, but you're only going to be able to take 2 of them. And we think that'll spread the fish out amongst more people and provide some good fishing.
Well, it sure sounds good to me, Steve.
Gary, you got another one.
Harry seems to be joking about putting old Give 'em Hell Harry down there.
Yeah, you've had 2 strikes since we started fishing about 15 minutes ago.
We're up in, Church Island Basin now, right?
Yeah, we're up around Church Island. We've seen nothing but smelt paving the bottom. You latched on to one of the fish.
Boy, that first strike I had, though, was only about 5 minutes in.
Yeah.
That hit hard. He came right off.
Well, it hasn't even been 10 minutes since that strike.
I don't think this is as big a fish, but it could very well be a keeper. I had 4 colors of yellow. I had 4 yellow markings down, so I must have been down at least, maybe 35 feet?
Yeah, 35, 40 feet maybe.
I had been running just 3 yellows. Looking pretty good.
Your pole, Gary.
Oh, it feels good. Real good. I would say 18, 19-inch salmon if it's not a lake trout. Boy, he's going deep. This could very well be a trout. No, it's a salmon.
Yeah.
I'm going to try to bring him up and maybe he'd get active.
Oh, yeah.
He's gone down again, but I may be able to get him back up again, Steve. He's fighting. I think he wants to come. Well, no, I think that he's pretty well spent.
A good-looking fish, just like down the other way.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what, Steve. I like the way you were. Boy, it's starting to get pleasant out here, Steve.
Oh, I know it. It's still got the cloud cover, but it's certainly warmed up quite a bit. I'd say we're looking at 60 degrees right now. Quite a change from yesterday morning. Dead calm. See a few rises out here.
We have. I don't know. I think you got a pretty good idea. Maybe we ought to start here tomorrow morning.
Well, I think so. Well worth at least a look-see. Seen a lot of smelt on the bottom, a lot more so than down the other way. And you had those two strikes on one fish and one missed strike on your Harry's lure right off the bat. So I think we got to give this a chance first thing in the morning and see if we can't come up with the kind of action we had down the other way.
I think so. It's cloudy, but this is a real pretty lake to be on. Come on.
Yeah, we got a rainbow, Gary. We were just talking about them a little while ago, I guess, and saying how it's been a couple of years. And, this is probably about a 16 or 17-inch rainbow.
Oh, good enough. You wait a minute. I'll get him closer.
All right.
Oh, is he? Boy, I don't know if I could ever. I'm picking him up now, Steve. I'm gonna let you. Oh, that's nice. Steve, that's nice.
Yeah. Nice.
See, that was caught on the needle smelt, then, huh?
On the, yeah.
I mean, the needle fish.
Yeah. Down about 40 feet. Nice fat fish, isn't he?
I think I'd better straighten this boat out. Steve, what was interesting with me that you caught down on the downrigger 40 feet down that rainbow.
Yeah, that rainbow is right down. You can tell by the thickness of it. You've been right down at the smelt. So we've been running a little bit deeper once we got down here. We're looking at water that's running 80, 90 feet deep, and the smelt seems to be down there quite a way. He was right down there with them.
End of another fishing day. Today you can see I wound up 5 landlocked salmon and 1 rainbow trout. We were able to keep 1 landlocked and 1 rainbow legally, but we released both of them. Hopefully tomorrow morning, September 27th. Nice morning with just a little ripple on the water and the air temperature's around 37, 38 degrees. Once again, we're back fishing Big Squam Lake. Also with us this morning is Don Miller. Glad to have you aboard this morning, Don.
Yeah, morning, Gary. I dragged myself away from my busy schedule. Figure there's only 3 days left of the season. It's time to get out here and catch the last big salmon.
Well, Steve and I have been having pretty good luck out here the last couple of days.
That's what I've heard. There's nothing to verify it, so I'm here today to try to verify that. But
we'll plug this thing right in that video this winter.
That's right, it's on film.
Yep.
Yeah. Morning, Steve.
Morning, Gary. Another beautiful one. A little bit colder than yesterday, but still not too bad.
Not bad at all. Well, let's hope the action begins soon.
Well, it's got to, Gary. If it doesn't, there's only one thing different about today than the last 2 days.
It's been slow so far this morning, but Steve has one on the end of the line here. Does it feel fairly decent, Steve?
Yeah, probably about what they've been running, Gary. Of course, we had to figure that we needed to pick up and leave, and I pulled this one off. It didn't release on its own. I had to release it. So I don't know how long we've been dragging the fish, but it's still fighting, so it hasn't been on that long. I can't move it too much. You want neutral? No. It's in the other line.
boy, is he fat, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Gary, We were down here not even 5 minutes and you got one on.
Yeah.
How's it feel?
Water.
Feels just like what we've been catching.
Yeah.
Fin smell floating in the water.
It's a good way to start my 67th birthday.
Congratulations, Gary.
I mean my 62nd. I thought I said 67.
Yeah, well, you did. I thought you were adding a few years to yourself long before it's time.
Rise back there being yeah.
Don's got one too.
Well, we finally got a double. Now, I'm glad we started at church. Because we got a double on for the first time.
The little guy.
This feels pretty good, Steve.
That's okay. Right here in my line.
Oh, yeah.
Looks good, buddy.
Oh!
Watch out! Did he come off?
Yeah.
He came off. That was a nice one.
That was a keeper.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the Harry Lure strikes again, Gary.
It's been kind to me in the last few days.
Unbelievable.
Once again, it's going pretty good, but when you get that much wild line out, the boat moving, sometimes they feel a lot bigger than they really are. I don't think he's as big as the one that you just hit to the boat.
No, that's probably the big fish for the day, Gary. Oh, there's a nice jump, huh?
Well, about the same size as the other one I caught.
Oh, let's get another one.
There he goes.
There's a nice release.
Whoop. Yep. This is one beautiful lake to fish, and Don, I just heard that reel go, and he has one on the line.
Tell me what. Yeah.
Feels pretty good, Don.
Yeah, he's a decent one. He made one jump. He's down deep now. I can't do anything with him. It's the Alaska Marianne.
Don,
God, he's fighting that.
They all do.
Now this fly rod, they feel like a he's racing.
2-3 pounds.
That fish is racing. Yeah, I'd say so. I'd say so. Look at the bore down. Quick set.
Well, Gary,
it came off.
it did.
Yeah, it came off.
Well, just about to say Harry's lure struck again.
The morning has been fairly active out here for us.
Not too bad, Gary. It's cloudless sky. Hardly any wind out here. We just had 2 fish on coming through Kent Island.
Yeah, you ribbon me because I lost one.
Yeah, you lost another one.
Don, I know a year ago we were a little concerned about the lake, and I know you've cut back on the salmon stocking this year, but just how much did you cut back on it?
Yeah, we cut back to 3,500, Gary.
Well, that's still quite a few.
It's quite a few. You got to consider, though, salmon from this part of the lake head down into Little Squam, too.
Mm-hmm.
So not all of them stay up here. But that's down from a high of 5,400, which was probably a bit too many.
Yeah.
But the smelt seemed to have responded real quickly.
Mm-hmm.
It's smelled all over the graph through here.
Yeah, hopefully before I stop fishing here tomorrow, I'm going to try to get that graft in because we have, we've grafted a lot of smell.
It's impressive.
Yeah.
Plus, we didn't stock rainbows here this year either.
Mm-hmm. How many rainbows does this lake usually get?
Oh, normally I think we put 1,500 in or so.
Yeah. Well, I'll shut off the camera. I'm sure I'll win this morning.
Better just give it.
What did you have on for a fly, Don?
Big gray ghost, Gary.
Yeah.
He's got to get into that downriver line now.
Come out of that.
They just missed that jump in the video, but this time Don's not kidding. This is a nice salmon. Boy, I don't know, but when he jumped there, Don, boy, he looked like a 3 or 4 pounder.
Yeah. Decent fish, Gary.
Oh yeah. Yeah, he is.
Nice net, Stevie.
He slammed it.
Oh. It's a
Oh,
scrappy.
shot 18.
Oh, that's a nice fish.
He annihilated that fly. I don't even see where the hook is.
Don, that's a beauty. What year was that salmon be, you think?
It's a no-clip fish, Gary, so it's a 3-year-old.
What would she weigh? 3
I'd say,
pounds or more?
judging from, she's full of eggs, she's got to be real close to 3 pounds.
Oh.
What a pretty fish, huh?
Oh, I love to hear that reel when it went out.
This lake is dead calm. I put a big, you can't see much of the fly here, but it's a big gray ghost. A little crystal flash in it. That fish took 25 feet of line off the minute it hit.
Oh yeah, that's the fly right there.
Yeah.
Came right out of the water.
You know, Don, it'd be awful nice if, I mean, we're catching some nice fish. You could throw that back in
Well,
for the video purposes.
my arm just won't go over the side of the boat, Gary. It only
Yeah.
goes that far.
If it was my fish, I wouldn't either.
It's a heavy fish.
Steve, it looks promising, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Suppose it's a lake trout or a salmon?
It's a salmon. Came right out of the water.
Oh,
Right out the back of it.
I wish he'd jump again for us out
It
there.
might.
That's on the copper.
Yeah. That was down 25 feet.
Nice fish.
Right? See him rippling a little, Steve.
Yeah, he's getting a little closer to the boat.
Nice salmon.
Whoa!
Whoa!
Oh, come on! Did he come off?
He rushed right to the boat.
Oh,
Well, that's fishing, Steve.
Yeah.
Now
Well,
that's-
that was probably about the size that we got on the stringer.
Yeah.
a little bit bigger.
Yeah.
Well, we've come to the end of the day, and that's the only fish that we have taken, although we had a couple more that we legally could have caught.
It's probably the second to the largest of the day, Gary. We decided to quick release one right beside the boat, that last fish.
I think you'd have put a dent in your boat the way
Well,
he's
he
going.
rushed us pretty good shape, yeah. I didn't want to bring it right into the boat because it would have put that fish to shame.
Oh, yeah.
But otherwise, we've had a good day.
Oh, we've had a great day. What did we wind up with finally? 7?
We had 8 fish that
8
we
fish
were
all
counting.
told,
That,
Yeah, well, that's
yeah.
good.
Yeah.
Okay. Don, you'll be fishing with a friend of yours tomorrow
Yeah.
out here by the name, what, Larry?
Larry Fort.
Yeah. Well, Steve and I'll be out here to hopefully give him a little competition stick.
Well, we need to get you a fish tomorrow to take home to your mother.
Yes, my mom would like it.
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's go. September 28th, and we're out in a real foggy morning, Steve.
Yeah, it's a little thick right here, Gary. We came out, we went through a little bit of fog, and then there was some wind that kind of cleared it off a little bit, but now we're right into the thick stuff. But we'll take it slow and easy. We keep coming across markers that kind of give me an indication of where we are. It's going to take us a little bit longer to get down to the hot spot fishing, but we'll get there before too long.
Well, I got a lot of faith in you, Steve.
Let's hope it's earned.
Just to give you an idea of the fog that we're going through. You can pretty near cut it with a knife.
fog.
We don't know where we are.
We have no idea where we are. But your rod went, and you got one nice salmon there.
Boy, he is, isn't he
That's
fat?
a beautiful one. Yeah.
You never get him out of the net. He looks.
Well, we'll see what we can do. But that's a keeper.
I guess foggy out here this morning, but Don's connected. That's a nice looking fish, Don.
Not bad. About 6 pounds, Gary.
Who you got fishing with you this morning?
That's Larry Fort. How you doing, Steve?
Good.
Good morning, Larry.
I got a scale at home that's accurate. I'm gonna put it on.
Oh, I can tell you just from my sight. Yeah, 4.5.
Look how thick it is.
Yeah, 6 pounds.
Do that.
6 pounds is a wall hanger, Donnie.
Caught it on the Gray Ghost. Depends on whose scale you touch.
Yeah, well, Donnie, I've almost kept 17-inch fish because they're 19-20.
That's well over 5.
That's 4.5.
Well, Steve, it looks like we're not going to make it to Church Island, are we?
No, little problem with the carburetor, Gary. We're limping back to shore, but well, we had a foggy morning. We were able to get the one fish that we were looking for and give you a chance to bring one home to your mother for a good dinner. So it's the way it goes sometimes, I guess.
We've had a great weekend. Last 4 days, except
Yeah.
that's the only trouble we've had.
Yeah. Well, you know, I think I've had this problem one time before. It's got something to do with the choke system, and you put too much gas into the carburetor with the choke kind of on, and it starts to backfire a little bit. So I don't think it's anything serious, but I'll take it down to the mechanic tomorrow and see if he can't work on it tomorrow. If he can get it done tomorrow, I'll be able to put in one more time on the last day. If not, I'll just have him fix it, we'll winterize it, and get it ready for next year.
Boy, from what I've seen out here, and you have, boy, it looks pretty encouraging for next year.
Yeah. Well, and we saw, you know, we haven't seen a lot of older fish. I'd say the fish that Dawn had was a 4-year-old male. Certainly was a beautiful looking fish. And so the few 3-year-olds like what you have that you're taking home can get the 4-year-old for next year. It'll be just the same as far as size goes. So.
Well, good enough. Season, Don gets heavily into the fall netting of landlocked salmon and rainbow trout. And right here we're at what they call Mink Brook. It's a cove that Mink Brook runs into. And on the left of your picture here is Diane Emerson and Linda McKay. They're dipping salmon out of the holding nets that we have before they weigh them up and measure the fish. How's the fall netting going so far?
Great, Gary. This is the first time we pulled the Mink Brook net. We had a big rainstorm this weekend. It looks like that brought a lot of fish into our net. We had 20 in it Friday. And I'd say today we probably got 150, 175 fish in the net. A lot of rainbows still.
The fish that I've seen here before we start shooting the video, they look real good.
Yeah, 2-year-old males, they're going upwards of 3 pounds, which is good. We've got some 3-year-old females that are around 4.5, 5 pounds. Can't ask for much better than that.
No, and I understand Lake Sunapee was kind of surprising, huh?
That was tremendous this fall. Low water conditions, no water coming out of Otter Brook there. And we still netted 351 salmon up there. Good condition on them, too.
And over the telephone you were telling me there were different age classes.
Yeah, I think we saw 4 different age classes up to age 4 up there. Yeah.
4, that's great.
4, biggest salmon up there were probably 5.5 pounds, almost 6.
In the smelt population, when you monitored them late this summer, early fall, it didn't look all that great, did it?
There's patches of smelt in that lake. Below Great Island, that seems to be the best area for smelt. Evidently, between the smelt and the perch, the salmon are finding plenty to eat.
Well, good. Let's take a look at some of these nice fish that you have here for us.
Yep.
Boy, hold that one up, Don. That's a nice fish. Don't know what year it
All you
is.
have to look at is her mouth. Look
She's
at her
dropping
mouth.
eggs, too.
Boy, terrific.
Yeah.
I think it is.
Male?
No, that's a
Female.
No clip female, 580.
What do you think the size of... What's that fish look to you? Pretty good, Tuck? Yeah. That's Tucker, my grandson. My son Terry. They're here watching Don and the gals
That's over
measuring
5
weight
pounds.
of fish. Boy, that's a nice one, Don.
That's a dandy.
Over 5
What was our biggest one?
Don and the girls are taking this Holden tanks out of a small net, crate type of thing that's going to be they're going to dump these in what they call a Holden pocket. And these salmon that they've been weighing up will go to Melvin Village where they hold Salmon Sunday. I think Don told me it was November 16th. And just to the right of that Holden net is the net itself that you're looking at. And this is where the salmon come up from the lake and they run into these leaders. They lead out from the net. You can see them. There's one on the left and the right, and they bump up and then they go into this net and they're trapped, and there they can weigh the fish and measure them and hold them for Salmon Sunday where they'll strip them. And they'll take the sperm from the males and the eggs from the females, and they'll be taken into a hatchery and raised and then released into our salmon lakes here in the state of New Hampshire. Mink Brook, not sure. Nice fish.
4 years old.
Boy.
The nice John. Cool.
Well, let us know what it weighs, Don.
Look at that.
Look at that John.
That's big.
Yeah, that's nice. Huh?
That could be the one that pulls you in the boat. I'm gonna hold the pen.
It was heavier.
It usually is.
So this is the end of the
That fish there is 2,000
salmon
grams.
weighing here today. Don, so we're planning on starting our own rainbow trout program.
Yeah, we're going to try to take eggs from as many lake fish that we find, Gary. We've got quite a few here at Mink Brook. There's a nice male, huh?
Oh boy, that's gorgeous.
Nice right male.
Oh, beautiful.
Male, 5'10".
Where do we get our eggs from now, Don?
West Virginia Federal Hatchery, Gary. Appears to be a lot of males here. Male. That's a male too.
How long will it take this program to get started?
Well, we may have to set more nets specifically for rainbows, but probably in 2 or 3 years. 460 on the male.
And whereabouts do you plan on raising these?
These will be taken to Powder Mill. That's our rainbow hatchery too.
Mm-hmm.
1100. Yeah, these are all nice rainbows. Boy. A lot of males. Another male. They're gorgeous, huh?
Boy, not just a kidding.
450. Male. 446.
What do you think, Tucky?
Like,
What are we looking at now?
1,000.
You-
What kind of fish are these, Tuck?
Some of these rainbows, Don, were put in here at 12 inches, huh, this spring?
Yeah,
Suppose that's one of them?
could be, Gary. Usually we'll see them up to 17 inches in the fall.
Boy. Well, it's a good way to end that video, Don. And I can't wait to hit that rod and line, especially the line with my office rod in the water
That's right.
next spring.
And a fly line.
Eggs from the female rainbow. And they'll be mixed with the milk from the males. What do you use for mixed ratio here, Don?
Oh, we're going to use a couple males to fertilize these, Gary.
Mm-hmm. How long does it take in the hatchery to get out of the egg stage?
About 40 days, 45 days.
Mm-hmm. And if everything goes well, when will these fish from these eggs be released into the lake?
They'd be stocked in 1999.
1999.
Yeah. Probably only a few on this.
Yep.
I'm gonna do one more male. I think we should be all set on that.
Thought we'd just show a little bit of the rainbow strip, and I forgot to don the stat in this program. But this is the way it went in the Lakes region in 1997.